they will start executing. Right? The same thing will be repeated. If the test case is passed, then they will go to the next development functionality. This is how that test-driven development will be happen. So here they will write unit tests uh, and they develop the application after writing the test cases. If the test cases fails, then they will correct their code. If the passes, then they will next functionality. This is happening in the TDD. So what we coming for the behavior development. So okay, before jumping to the behavior development, who here involved, who write the test unit test scripts? Here the developer will write the unit test scripts. And this is test-driven development. They are also referring it as a first test approach in a software development. Okay. Do you have any questionnaires and test-driven development?
So test-driven development is done by the developer when he is writing the code, unit test.
Before writing the first, how this they implement is before developing the application itself, they'll have the test steps. Suppose actually how this happen real time means this product owner or product business analyst, these guys will already prepare the description for a user story. So these guys will prepare user stories. For every user story, there will be a description. So in the description, they will mention what are the steps they have to follow. So this is like a pre-test or test case. For example, that is a user story considered as a test scenario. In the test scenario, you will have the description. This description you can consider it as a test steps. So based on those test steps, these developers will develop the application. Not the application, one functionality you can consider.
Like how to write as a test cases. We have to means compare the expected result with the actual results, like that.
Actually, before, so in SDLC, what are the phases you have? The requirement gathering and then after requirement analysis. So from the requirement analysis, the business analyst will derive the expected results. So they derive the expected result. Based on the expected results. You will write the test. Okay, you got it.
Yes, Shashi.
Is there any doubts here? Okay.
No.
Why the behavior driven development came into picture? See here. The business analyst or any product owner, project manager can't understand what you are writing. They can't understand your Java, or they can't understand your test engine, and they can't understand whatever you written. Why? Because they don't having any technical skills on that. They're having only the business knowledge, and they only know how to get returns from the business. But they don't know what the technical knowledge you have. So because of that reason, they have introduced the behavior-driven development. Okay, so in the behavior development, you already have the product backlogs. The who will prepare the product backlogs here?
Business analyst, a product owner. Sorry.
We will have the product backlogs from the product owner. So based on the product backlog, these testers, or you can say the QA, these guys will prepare a test scripts. Sorry, test cases. You can say test scenarios. In the test scenarios, you have the test cases. So based on those test cases, these developers will develop the application. So what exactly this behavior development placement? This is like the same as a test driven, but here we will have a common language. So let me go to the next slide. See, here the developer, tester, and product owner. What this product owner will prepare product backlogs, and the tester will write the scenarios for these product backlogs. How this guy write this script? Everyone we have a common language, so we have a common communication language in English. Based the plain English by using the plain English language, they will write a test cases. In the test cases, they will write a test steps. So then after based on these test steps, the developers start developing the application. Then after one minute, please. Sorry. Okay. See here. So based on the product backlogs, the tester will develop the scenarios. So what exactly we have in the scenarios? Tester scenario name and the test steps. So how, in which language they will return? In plain English language. That is a common language for us, for developer or tester or product owner. So based on those, developer will start developing the application. So now the whatever the test step we written, it will be understood by all the people. For example, the business analyst can read this, and product owner can read those. Based on those, you can they will understand what we exactly doing on the application. So that's how the behavior development will plays a very key role in the software development. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Okay, do you have any questions here?
No, Shashi.
Okay. See, coming to the next, we have this acceptance test-driven development. This is nothing new. Here we have already in the behavior development what for existing product backlogs, we will write the test scenarios. The QA guys will write the test scenarios. But here what happened in the acceptance test driven means we will collect the product backlogs from the customer. So whatever the customer is expecting, what are the according to the market needs, they will develop some product backlogs. So both we can say those are acceptance user stories. So for those acceptance user stories, this QA guys QA guys or developers may follow the TDD or a BDD, and they will write the test scripts or test cases whatever. So then after they will execute those test cases, and you see this is the acceptance criteria. You can see who do the acceptance testing here.
End users.
See, this acceptance criteria. So, where if the end user or the product owner will satisfies with these acceptance user stories, then they will go to the next phase. If not, they will follow you. What are the cycle you are seeing here? The same cycle follows. If the test case fails, then they will make a change. Then after execute the test case. The same thing happen in acceptance also. What is the major change here we having in acceptance test driven and development? The product backlogs. The product backlogs, you can say these are acceptance criteria user stories. Okay. See, why we had to learn Cucumber here. The Cucumber tool will help us to achieve the behavior driven development approach. See here, in this case, we need a common language. Okay, where we have to write our test steps and how we have to club our test code to the test steps. So there, the Cucumber plays a very key role here. So not only Cucumber, there is a lot of behavior driven development tools. As Durga pointed out, JBehave, Cucumber, some Serenity, like a SpecFlow. These kind of tools are present in the market. So why we had to learn only the Cucumber means the Cucumber supports Java and the Ruby some other language. So we learn the Java because of that we are going to learn the Cucumber. Suppose you learn a .NET means you have to learn the SpecFlow. Suppose you learn a Python means you have to learn a JBehave. So that is So we have learned the Java. That is the reason we are learning the Cucumber. And the Cucumber, not only Cucumber is an open source tool. And by using Cucumber, we can easily understand what are the test steps we are writing, and we can understand, the other QA can understand what we are doing, and the business analyst can understand what we are doing, the product owner can understand what we are doing. So that is the reason we are learning the Cucumber here. So did you got the point of why we are learning the Cucumber?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Okay, see, first of all, Cucumber. Cucumber is an open source tool. It will help us to achieve a BDD approach. And in the Cucumber, we can easily write test steps, and we can glue or merge with our test code. Okay. Do you have any other advantages in the Cucumber? Cucumber supports Java, Ruby. Okay. So before jumping to this, actually, yesterday I told you to learn the framework, different type of frameworks we have. Test automation frameworks, linear, um, modular framework, page object model framework, architecture. So okay, anyone tell me what is a linear framework, linear test automation framework?
It's
Linear
kind
in
of
the
Selenium
sense, whatever
IDE.
we are following the way, that is a linear. That means we are writing all the code in one class. That means we are following only one way. That means test cases are not separate, and logic is not separate. That is a linear. If we write separate classes, that will come under modular.
Yeah. See, the linear test automation framework is nothing but simply you're keeping all your script, all your test script as of now. How you are doing the same? You are keeping all your Selenium script in a main method. You're clubbing all the code, and you can say the linear test automation is called record and playback. The Selenium ID, which will record and we can play back. So this is the Selenium ID is one of the examples for linear test automation framework. Okay. Why? Because in the Selenium ID we can record and we can play back the test cases. So coming to the modular framework. So why this a modular or a library architecture framework? So nothing but the modular means here we are keeping all our script in one method. So here we are grouping our test scripts based on module, submodule, features, etc. So, okay, could you give any example based on this modular framework?
Modular in the sense we are
We have
dividing
a
the
test ng.
tasks into subtasks. For example, login application is there, open cart is there, login is one module, then home page is one module, then register is one module. Like that, test cases will be easily written.
The same way we are grouping our test scripts.
Grouping
Yes.
concept is there. Yeah.
Okay. So here the test NC, we can group our test cases based on the module or based on the smoke regression. So this is also a best example for a modular or library architecture framework. Okay, next we will jump to the keyword driven. So keyword driven is nothing but we separating our test data from the test scripts, but by using keyword, we can access those test data. Okay. So for example, in the test ng, we are parameterizing our test scripts. So in the parameterization, you're providing one key. For example, I can say the key is a username, and you are providing some data to that. The same way, how we do the keyword driven with the Excel sheet. Say I will create a username, some username and a password here, and I can say these are valid credentials. So by calling this valid credentials key, I can get the username and password. So here, what is the risk factor here? For developing these kind of frameworks, you need some experienced guy and they have good coding knowledge. So this kind of factors, the keyword driven is you can say this is a risk driven. Okay. And coming to the data driven. So data driven is nothing but it's like an add-on to the keyword driven. So we are completely separating test data from test scripts. You can store in a Excel, CSV. CSV is nothing but one format of Excel. You can store any doc. In a test engine, what you are doing, parameterization is also one example for data driven. And data providers is the best example for a data driven. So by this, how we can say the test engine is also example for a data driven testing framework. Okay. So now the important thing is POM. What is the POM you have learned in a Maven project?
Project object.
See what
Page
it
of-
contains.
Dependencies and plugins.
It contains dependencies.
Okay. Now here the POM in test automation framework. So here it is a page object model. Okay. In the page object model, here see we are separating the test data. Here we are separating the test data and storing in the form of keywords and key value pair. Here in the POM, we are separating objects. Objects is nothing but experts and methods. Whatever the code you are writing, we are separating from our test steps. Okay. So this is called a page object model. This is nothing but so what are in the page you having elements. So they are referring it as elements as objects. Okay. Now we are separating and we are keeping those objects in a object repository and methods. Maybe you can keep some pages classes. So in this way, we can achieve the page object model architecture. Okay. Okay. Next, the hybrid. Okay, the hybrid is nothing but this is combination of any framework. For example, I can combine POM, I can combine keyword driven, and I can combine the data driven. So I can achieve the hybrid model. So POM plus data driven plus keyword driven. I can add some other frameworks also. So this is a hybrid framework. Okay. Okay. So then jumping to the Cucumber. Cucumber supports data driven, partially POM. Okay. So this is the advantages of a Cucumber. Okay. And coming to the Cucumber Eclipse plugin. So what this Cucumber Eclipse plugin will do means simply so okay, plugin itself it is not providing any dependencies to us. So here it will help us to achieve something in a in our working project. So what it will do, it will convert our project, our main project to Cucumber project. So what is the Cucumber project here? Nothing but a BDD project. Okay. So now and it will glue our code with the test steps what we written in a plain English language. Nothing but Gherkin. Okay. Okay. This is from the Cucumber and the test automation framework and from the software driven development approaches. Do you have any questions from these three topics?
No.
Okay. Okay. How in the Cucumber they are achieving the POM? The POM is nothing but page object model. See, first of all, we will start with the POM only. In the POM, they will write a test steps in a feature file, and they keep test scripts in a step definition file, and they will separate objects or XPaths from a step definition file. Okay. So what exactly in feature file? See this feature file. This is common for you can see in the spec flow. You can go for a Cucumber. You can go for a say Serenity. You can go for a JBehave. They will follow the same approach. Okay. So in the feature file, okay, let me show some sample, I guess. See here, this is a sample feature file. So here we having this is the tag and this is the feature. In the feature, we are keeping the title of your features. For example, I am writing a scenario for a login for login. So I will keep the verify. I'm verifying the login functionality in this feature file. So you can title your feature what you like. Coming to here, this is a sample description. I want to use this template for my file. You can use sample description, and we have a scenario. This is the scenario. Here we will write the test case name, and this is the test steps. Okay, you can see I want to write a step with a name and okay, we will go for a step by step. Oh, this is a sample feature file. You got no? What is the feature scenario? Okay. Okay, in the feature file, so we have a feature title of a feature, and we have a scenario. So we will start from the scenario. So in the scenario, how we have to write the test case name? TC module name 001, and you can write some verify the functionality. And here you have the given, when, then, and. So what is this? These are feature, scenario, given, when, then, and are all Cucumber keywords. By using these keywords, we are going to write our test steps for this test case. Okay, na? So in the given, suppose whatever the prerequisites I'm having, I will keep in a given statement. Prerequisites. Okay. In the when statement, suppose I am doing any action. I am clicking on a button. Okay. So I will keep the what are the actions I am having. I will keep in the when. Suppose I have a second action, so I will keep in a and. Okay. In the and, suppose I am clicking on a button. Then after I am clicking on a some other button. And suppose I am having any other action means, then I will go again. I will keep the actions here. Now I have to validate. Okay, I have done some actions here. Now I have to validate. What are the validations we are coming? We will put in a then statement. And then the validation steps. Suppose I have any primary validation, we put in a then statement. Suppose we having any secondary validations, we will put an and. Suppose even I am having one more validation means, then I will go for and. Okay, this is how we will usually do the writing the feature file. So what exactly here happening means, so we are not 100% English speakers or English writers. Suppose some guy will write past tense, some guys will write some different language, even the people can't understand what you are doing. So in this situation, they kept some of the guidelines to writing the feature file. See whether your team following first singular. So what is the first singular here? Me, I, some. Okay, you can say I is the first singular. Me. You can't use the me also here. You can go for I itself. And this is a third person singular. Suppose your team following first person singular, go with first person. Suppose your team following with the third person, go with the third person. So in the third person, we usually use a user. Okay. See here, suppose now what I will do in a given statement, given I am in a test leaf application. Okay. In and statement, so now suppose I have any other prerequisite means I'll put here. So in suppose I am in test leaf. So what my next step is, I clicks on dashboard. Okay, you can go for a browser icon. So now I have the validation. So then I should see, or I should able to see browser page, or okay now suppose I'm not able to write. Suppose I'm very poor in writing these kind of sentence means you have a tool. So go to the Google, type Farah phrase tools. These will correct your mistakes. Okay. Suppose you are not much good enough in writing forming the sentence. Use these tools in Google. Even some days here you can say you will find a lot of spelling mistakes here. Usually I will go to the Google. I will type the word and the Google itself give me the what are the correct spelling. Then after I will put in my feature files. Then after I'm knowing these tools, I will simply jumping to the Google. I will type simply Farah phrase. So in any tool, you have a lot of tools here. So you can type the script, test step what you are doing, and bring it back to the feature file. So this is how it should be. The feature file written is very important, guys. Why? Because suppose you left in the middle of the project. The guy who coming and doing your understanding your script, you should be because there is no time in that. So the guy immediately had to start the work and immediately understand your scripts and have immediately had to find what wrong you have done in the project. So in these situations, the guy shouldn't feel who this guy. He's this no what the basic cucumber. He shouldn't think like that. So you have to write your scripts. You have to write your feature files in a professional way. The feature file writing is very important. Why? Because your scripts may can see your company CEO, or your scripts may can see by other client or product owner and business analyst may can see your feature files. So the feature file writing is the most important in a BDD. They should understand what you exactly doing in a single scenario. Okay. Okay. In a Cucumber, we will write a different way. For example, how we in manual Excel sheet. Suppose in Excel sheet, how we will write. You can write for single functionality. You will write a test case. But coming to the Cucumber, here we are writing the flow. For example, I have a payment in Amazon application. I will buy I have to buy some ball or something. So now how I will write a full flow. So I'm not testing each and every functionality. In the Cucumber, I'm writing whole flow. Till the payment, I will write the flow. Like if suppose you are feeling that the test steps are became bigger and it is will be very difficult to understand, or it will be something in a wrong way, means you can separate your, then at at point of time you have to separate your uh, test steps and you have to separate your test cases. Suppose you're having very small flow, then definitely you have to put in a single scenario. Okay, so we are writing a flow. So what type of testing this is? What type of test case this is? I think Pinas are asked to write end-to-end test cases. Okay, so this is kind of end-to-end flow we are writing. End-to-end flow for a functionality. Okay, do you have any questions here?
No, Shashi.
Okay. Okay. We will have a small, not as a small assessment. Like, okay. See in this Excel sheet, we are having different type of test automation frameworks, driven development approaches. Okay. Okay. Tell me, which test automation supported by which tool, or which driven development approach is supported by a tool? Tell me whether Cucumber supports a linear way of writing.
It supports BDD.
Okay. Okay. Next.
SNG modular.
Formed testing.
Okay.
And Selenium data driven.
Linear.
Selenium.
Selenium ID.
TestNG is data driven.
Data driven.
TDD, test driven, TestNG.
Okay.
Cucumber is
Let me
POM.
give a quick answers. Okay.
Keyword POM.
Cucumber
Keyword
is also
driven.
keyword driven.
Modular and library architecture. Cucumber.
Cucumber.
Yes. Because we have feature file, we have runner class, and we separate it that way with Jenkins. That is, we have the.
Yes, it supports.
TestNG supports
it supports the data driven. We can build a framework using Cucumber, a hybrid framework. It supports TDD. Why? Because usually it supports the BDD. In the BDD we have TDD. So indirectly it supports the TDD also. The acceptance driven. This acceptance driven testing is not. This is an ecosystem usually developed by a company. Actually, what is the difference we having from the BTD and ATD? The product backlogs, but not the tools.
Yes.
So we can keep it as a partially supports. Okay. So in the TestNG, we can write the linear scripts. We can achieve the keyword driven. We can do POM here. Is it possible?
Yes, possible.
How you are expecting to do in TestNG?
No. Test output. There is another file.
Okay. Let's give a clarity tomorrow whether TestNG supports a POM or not. So we can build a hybrid framework using TestNG. But TestNG directly will not support the hybrid framework. Okay. So I will, as of now, I will keep it as 0. Okay, in Scene 2. Okay, what we discussed about the Cucumber. So what does it mean by hybrid? Maybe the combination of any framework. So then it is a hybrid framework. But here coming to TestNG, it should support the POM plus any other frameworks. Then it is a hybrid framework. Okay.
And it should support also hybrid also, no, sir, because it's a supporting of POM plus keyword driven. Then we have to give in that keyword data driven. Whatever we are giving that TestNG, then it will use the hybrid also. Then we can. They will support
okay.
hybrid also.
Okay, for your answer, I'm saying keeping as a hybrid. Okay. While coming tomorrow, you have to give me clarity on whether the Cucumber supports the hybrid, TestNG supports the hybrid. We can build the framework by using these tools. Okay. Hybrid framework. So okay, for coming tomorrow, you have to tell me whether the Cucumber supports hybrid or TestNG supports hybrid or not. Okay, TestNG supports BDD. Is TestNG supports the BDD?
No.
That is the reason we are learning other tool.
Yes.
If it is not supporting BDD, maybe is it supports the ATDD?
No.
We can say partially.
I'm not getting any answer.
We can say partially,
it's
as
partial.
we said.
See, in the acceptance driven testing, either we can follow TDD or BDD. Okay, if it supports TDD, usually partially it supports ATDD also. This remaining ecosystem, the company will follow. Okay, And the Selenium is not a single tool. It is a suite. Okay. In the Selenium, we have Selenium ID, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium RC. Okay. So the Selenium ID only supports the linear. Okay. The remaining things all it will not support. Okay. Oh. Okay. What is the use of Selenium? Is simply we are able to automate web application UIs by using Selenium tool. That's it. Other than that, the same. We don't have any other advantages with the Selenium. Only the Selenium ID, the Selenium WebDriver also not supporting the linear. Only the Selenium ID supporting the linear. Okay. This test engine. Why we are learning test engine to writing the test scripts, and then after some of the advantages. So we can have the modeler. It will support the modeler, keyword driven, data driven, and so usually you can say hybrid. We can develop a hybrid framework using test engine, and it supports the TDD, and so partially supports ADD. Okay. In the Cucumber, why we are learning the main advantage of the Cucumber is BDD. So no other tool what we have learned till now supports BDD. Only the Cucumber supports the BDD here. That is the reason we are learning the Cucumber. Okay. Okay. I will give some tasks for tomorrow. We will put end here. So while coming tomorrow, you have to tell me the Cucumber keywords. And sample BDD scripts, Cucumber scripts, BDD Cucumber. Usually, I think you are doing some test scripts on some other application like Pinasa. You can convert those steps to Cucumber. First of all, create a new project. The naming convention is very important here. You can keep usually every team should have a team. You can keep a team 5 or any other your team respective team number, and you can keep a BDD, and you can keep any other name for your project. For example, you are automating a make my trip means you can keep the make my trip, or any suppose you have to keep unique name means you can go with that. Then after you can write you can convert your test scripts, or you can write your new BDD scripts. It's your choice. Okay. So how the package structure should be. Okay. Usually we are testers or a QA, we will keep in a SRC test Java. So here we will create a packages. How it should be com dot. Suppose you can keep the domain com dot, or you can simply get, okay, I'm keeping the domain name. Then you can, usually it is a BDD. So then I'm keeping it as a BDD. Whether it is a web or API or something else, you have to keep here web. Now I will keep it as a feature file. Okay. And domain, then okay, then complete with this. Then after we have step definition. Usually Cucumber supports the page up. What is the how we are achieving in the Cucumber? We will separate first. We will separate BD dot web dot step definitions. Okay. This is the package names. Suppose you have to you are willing to keep the separate the object repositories or objects or exports separately, or test methods or test script from the test step definition also means you can create domain name BDD web dot pages. The pages is nothing but a what are the pages you see in the application, in the web application. So this is how. And one more thing we are missing here, runner file. Okay, runner files are runners. You can keep whatever you like. So this is like your package structure, and you can follow automation step-by-step channel. channel for Cucumber, Jenkins, GitHub. Can follow him, automated step-by-step channel. And you should, suppose I ask anyone and we able to explain what are the keywords in, suppose you create one project. In the project, if I ask any question regarding those, you have to answer. So in the runner file, we have some keywords. In Cucumber feature file, we have some keywords. And in step definition, coming to the step definition also, we have. If we're able to explain these, we can go in a rapid, okay? Okay, that's it from my side. Do you have any questions? So here you have to keep the feature files. And here you have to keep the step definitions. Okay, by you from his we can get a knowledge how we can maintain the files in these packages. First of all, create a